classic style person, I struggle with looking put together when we have 3 to 4 months of high 90 and low 100 degree temperatures in Texas. And so if you're in Celsius land, we're talking high 30s, early 40s. So yes, when you are more classic, you tend to like more structured garments, more layers, those sorts of things, which when you are in a very hot environment, we do not want to be putting all those layers on unless you're inside in the air conditioning. So how to think about hot weather clothing that is still stylish. And it's something that a lot of us find harder, particularly if we have a body we want to cover up more. It can be much harder to dress in summer, particularly when it's hot or it's humid as well. So things I think about when I am choosing summer clothing is having built-in detail in the clothing, which means I don't need layers in the same way to add that interest to the outfit. So it might be thinking about pattern tops instead of plain ones. It might be thinking about detail in the construction of the top, rather than having something that is completely plain as well. So these are things you can really think about looking put together. So rather than a really kind of relaxed t-shirt, think about maybe a, linen collared shirt, but maybe it's short sleeved or sleeveless instead of having long sleeves. So that's got more of that classic element of design in it, without it being lots of layers and hot. So you could think about that sort of thing. So thinking about taking what you would classically wear and go, how do I make this a warmer weather version? So thinking about 2 colors, that colors can create interest when you are not adding different things together. So just those kind of design elements are going to make a big difference. So when it's hot, it's thinking about the fabrics, so fabrics that breathe, so linen, bamboo, cotton, those sorts of fabrics rather than synthetics. It's thinking about lighter weight fabrics. It's making sure that the fabrics are comfortable, but then you still have that classic structure in there. So this is why, or a short sleeve or a sleeveless, but, button-up collared shirt still has a classic element without it being, long-sleeved and covered and all those other classic elements. Or thinking about, rather than a really plain cotton t-shirt, a more elevated bamboo t-shirt that has a little bit more structure to it, or even a linen t-shirt. So really thinking about, and it's how you put it together. And sometimes it's, making sure you just add some earrings and, some good grooming can add that little bit of polish to your outfit. And that those clothes are really well constructed rather than being kind of saggy and baggy. So part of a classic dressing style is to be more polished and put together. So just making sure you have that overall look. But I know when it's hot, it can be much harder to get dressed. And that's why all my summer clothes, I look for my summer tops to do all the work for me rather than settling for something that's completely plain, which needs stuff added to it. Because sometimes, even though I love a necklace, I don't want to wear a necklace on a really hot day because it can feel too hot and heavy. Instead, I want to look for that interest and detail in the clothes so I don't really have to add so much.